Give me that love, real love, give me that love. Okay, so where we left off last time, it was the knee update part 2. I was talking about whether I'd have to restart, and I think it basically came to the conclusion then that I would definitely have to restart the training block. So last Monday, the day after last training vlog picked up, I basically marked 2 weeks since I'd started the rehab proper, since I'd made a decision to take a step back and correct course with my knees. I thought this could take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, judging how painful the knees were. However, there's been a huge stride in the last 2 weeks. I was able to get such a good fucking week of weightlifting in. It's been weeks and weeks since I've been able to do just a good old-fashioned, good quality week of weightlifting. So I just put in some good work, 6 days in a row. I was so fucking happy. So what I thought I'd do this week is I would go through my full week of programming. So I didn't film every bit of every session or every bit of some sessions like I was doing before, because I thought there was a lot from each session that would be valuable, and I thought people would appreciate seeing them all in context or seeing as a whole, so you get kind of an idea. So what this training block is, it's not really a GPP phase again, which I would have been doing earlier in the year when I started with doing like 5s and the snatch and stuff like that, and 10s and 12s in the squat. This is more back to the start of a kind of comp or prep phase, or preparation phase, but more I should say, where it's higher volume and higher variation. So it'll be, if you're to look at this as a whole and you zoom out, it'll be like GPP phase, like prep, high volume, high variation phase, and then like peaking phases, and then these last varying lengths. So what I would consider from last Monday being is the start of a new prep phase. So I thought it'd be very interesting to see all of the sessions in a row in context. And I'll talk through my program, and I'll have a little bit of clips from each one of them, and then I'll give you a little bit of my rationale for doing some of the stuff, why some of the stuff was done, and what maybe might be useful to take away for you. So if we start the week, so some of this is still influenced by cautionary proceeding or procedures around my knee, so some of it is a little bit different than what might be done slightly, but I'll kind of point out areas where it might have been a bit different compared to what a normal pain-free prep phase might look like, as opposed to what me just avoiding certain things. So my hope for this week was to just do a good weightlifting week, not do anything that hurt my knees, and then absolutely stop doing something if it hurt my knees and forget about it, not have any emotional attachment to anything, and if it hurt my knees, just stop doing it. And that would be that, and that would be the best way to proceed. However, still going with the thought that I was going to do some quality weightlifting. So just to give some context, my knees have progressed hugely again, and last night was the only little bit where, you know, in the space of a week. So last night was the only time where I had a little bit of issue with my left knee on front squats. So last night was the only time where I had a little bit of an issue, which was after, fair enough, after full 6 weeks of weightlifting, or full 6 days of weightlifting. A little bit sore on front squats. I moved out to my deadlifts, and I tried a little bit of front squatting after again to see if it hurt, and it had gone away, it had dissipated. Just the tissues are a little bit stressed, I suppose, after not doing so much work. I don't think I set myself back. I think it was just a product of training. They've progressed hugely since even last Monday, so I'm very, very happy with that. So I've given kind of examples of how my program is structured. So I've tried before doing like a snatch day, clean and jerk day, and a kind of strength day, something like Miso Asana does, how they like to do it. I don't particularly like doing that. I feel like you kind of, on that style of training, you have to kind of give it all every day. So if you're doing a lot of snatch, or you're doing a lot of clean and jerk, on whatever day it is, you have to give all of that, and neither of those days are times for like psychological and physiological stress downtime. I feel like you have to go at those days each day, because each of those are valuable. You know, each one of those days requires a lot of work, and I feel like it just doesn't suit my style of training, what I like doing. So I like closer to what, for example, Gabriel did or does. I'm not too sure compared to now, but what he did before, and what a lot of kind of similar regions would do. So I have 3 big days, so 3 days where it's full snatch, full clean and jerk, and then there's the intermittent days. So that'd be, full days would be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so they're like the main days as such, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday are the, we'll call them accessory days, or weakness working days, or alternative days, where you don't do as much full snatch, or you do some variations that you need to do. So we start off with this week, Monday, again the main day. So I did snatch plus overhead squat, so I worked up to 3 to 4 sets at 115 kilos, 2 snatches, and then 1 to 2 overhead squats. And then, so the reason I did this was higher reps, but also a little bit of variation, a little more time under tension, and not just snatch doubles, for example. So again, we're doing like a prep phase. We're going to keep some of the variation a little bit higher than would be, because there won't be time and reason for this later. Moved on then just to clean and jerks. So this is kind of where my knee pain was influencing my decisions. So what I would have liked to do here was probably like 3+1 or something, but clean and jerks put more pressure on my knee historically in the last few weeks, so I went cautionary into these. So I just did 120 for 2+1, and then I did one single at 130, and it felt quite good, but I could feel them a little bit, so that kind of altered that. Moving on to the next day, power snatches. So the off day or the accessory day, did 90 for 4 doubles. These bothered my knee more than anything, so again I just stopped doing them. There was no point. It didn't hurt my knee, but I could feel like it was putting pressure on it when there was literally no point doing that for the time being. Moved on then, so I wanted to get a little bit more volume in. I wanted to do some push press, but not solely by itself, so I did power clean, push press and split jerk. So I did 3 sets at 110 kilos. I did 3 power cleans, 1 push press and 1 power jerk, 1 split jerk. Worked out quite well. I did 120 for a set where I did 2+1+1. Then I did a set of just 120, 1 power clean and 1 split jerk, just to finish off the movement and practice something a little bit extra, put a little bit more speed in the bar. Finally, then I finished off, I just did front squats 3x3 at 120 kilos. So again, that's something that was influenced heavily by my knee, being cautionary with it. What would that look like if I wasn't being cautious with stuff? Probably be like 5x5 or something like that, 5x6, shorter rest periods, a little bit more intense. Moving on to Wednesday, so this will be like the second main snatch or clean and jerk day and how I structure things. So I worked up to 120 kilos, 1 set of 3 in the full snatch. I did some absolute power move, which for me is something I like doing when I know I'm in good shape. So I went 100 straight to 120 in the snatch. Doesn't sound like a lot, but for me I like doing it because it's it just feels like a power play on 120, to be honest. It's just something I like doing, and I was tired, so I just wanted to get to my top set. Someone asked, was that a stupid or lazy move? And I said if I'd missed, it would have been a stupid and lazy move, but that I made it, it's just simply tenacity, so I'm going to get away with that. Then I moved on to something, so I really want to work on my clean this time, make it strong, but make it very, very technical. Something I need to work on, and it helped me before, and I just kind of stopped doing them, was hang cleans. Above the knee hang cleans, I worked up to 140, 1+1. I think my best hang clean is 170, so a long way to go with these, but this felt very good. I just did a couple of 2+1 sets, and then worked up to singles for a heavier set. For me and these, I could do a lot of sets with these, but ultimately I need to also practice heavier weights with these. There's a time and place for a lot of reps and a lot of sets, but sometimes then it pays to go a little bit heavier from these. Lighter reps at 120 probably would be that productive for me, whereas I'd probably reps at 160 be a lot more productive for me trying to clean and jerk 200 plus. So there was no point wasting time on these yet, so I want to push forward a little bit these and then maybe start doing some reps. So no squats on that day. Then moved on to the Thursday. So we had, again, the off day. Something in past as well I found is no foot power cleans, which is something Miso used to do a lot when I saw him training. And it's something I did find helped my clean. So it kind of forces you to stay a little bit connected to the bar a little bit longer and turn over faster. These felt very, very good. Sorry, before that I actually did no foot hang snatch plus no foot snatch plus no foot above the knee hang snatch. So I just worked up to 110. I did 2 sets of 1+1. A little bit tired on that day, obviously, but that was fine. That was expected, and these moved quite well. I like a little bit of hang snatch, or I like a little bit of no foot snatch, but again, tempered, not too much of it. Then I moved on to the no foot power cleans, no foot push jerk. There's no real reason I did the push jerk. It was just I was standing near the back of the platform, and I just like doing them. They're not particularly productive to carry over to full jerk or split jerk, but I just do like doing them sometimes. So I worked up to 130 for a single, and this felt great. Felt like I was actually dominating the weight, so I was so happy after the session. Then we moved on to, again, something that was probably stupid, but it worked out okay, so it wasn't stupid in retrospect, but I worked up to, so the plan was back squats and just to do 200 for a double or maybe a triple. Considering 70 kilos the week before caused like 7, 8 out of 10, it should have been probably even less than that, but I was like 200 for double will be reasonable. So then we moved on, and I did 200 for double, and it was so easy. It felt so light on my back, it felt nice, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do 220 for a double, and it moved incredibly well. It was very, very nice, so I was quite happy with that. Maintenance of strength for me is something I'm luckily blessed with, that I don't need to do high frequency to maintain a lot of strength, so quite happy with this. Not going to lie, that 220 for double was a little bit stupid. Fucking yes, absolutely. Did I enjoy it? Yes. It wasn't kind of those things where I was like, oh, I need to do this to prove I'm still strong. I just wanted to do that because I wanted to dominate 220 kilos. I wanted to send it to the underworld, as Hayden said, and I was happy with it. Then moved on to Friday. The goal of this day was 130, 160. That's what I wanted to do. That was the goal of my session. It was kind of the 100% Big Friday, as the Kaz call it. 100% more stenazol. In my case, obviously, I'm far excess of those. Nah, I'm joking. So I worked up to 130. Again, I went to 100, 120 as a power play on 120. And then I went to 130. Felt quite good, but I was like, make it better. Then I did it, and I was like, fuck this. 135 was well within reach. There's no point holding back on weights. I'm in good shape, you know, I'm strong. As in, absolute strength is good. It's not causing pain. So I was like 135 for single. Hit it. Quite happy with it. Then I moved on to clean and jerks. So 160 was the goal. So then my goal of hitting 160 though on this session was emotionless 160. So not training with piss and vinegar, not training with hype on this. This is well established in a lot of sports that you can't train. You've got to build up that, you know, it's a currency you save for a while, and you can't use it every session. They talk about it in the Russian text as well. So, but it's modern day sports science, and might get Fitz to talk about this, you know, at some stage when these videos, we might get him to do it. But the idea with this was to put us least amount of emotional hype into doing 160, because 160 for me is not even 90%. So, and I haven't done 160 in ages. So I was like, this has got to be as casual and as calm as possible. So 150 was no problem. So I just went 100, 140, 150, then 160, rushed it off the little floor. Was a little bit hyped for it, just because the weight I had done in a while. It was like some adrenaline, you know. But I was trying to keep it down, just keep relaxed, I suppose. I rushed off the floor, a little bit of jerk. The clean looked easy, but it needs to be better for me. Jerk was, to be honest, the jerk was 100%. I'm so happy with the jerk. As in, to me, there was nothing wrong with that jerk. I was very, very happy with it. It locked out very well. The overhead stuff I'm doing, the single head overhead walks are working very well. My legs are strong, so my jerk is good. To be honest, I have no critiques of the jerk, but there's still a lot of work to be done on the split jerk. Then moving on to the last day, so that's Saturday. So this is like the off day. Obviously, you can imagine you're a little bit fatigued after the Friday. So this day again was just some weaknesses and kind of a cool off the week, while you don't want to leave too long between Monday, for example, while taking a full rest day on Sunday. So talked to Fitz about this, and we're like, probably could do with low hangs. It's not something I've ever actually done for my clean, and it's definitely something I need. So for me, the issue when I rush off the floor is my back positions and my overall joint integrity and the alignment and the organization isn't good. It's like it's a bit fucked, to be honest. It's not good enough. So figure some low hangs would definitely help with this. So I worked up so I started with low hang snatches as well. So I just went to 100, straight to 120 again. 3 power plays in 1 week, lads. There's no fucking joke. I'm telling you. So 100 for 2x2. Then I went for 120 for a double. Is easy, no problem. Just a bit tired, but weight was fine. Then finally, moved on to the low hang clean and jerks, which is more the focus of this session. And then I went to 140 for 2 singles. The only reason I did 2 singles was because the first jerk was a little bit weird and I feel like I didn't lock it out properly, so I did a second one. Did it feel heavy? Yes, but that was heavy from fatigue. But I was quite happy with this, and I'll keep pushing these. Then moved on to front squats, 4x3, 120. Knee was just a little bit not injured. I'm glad I know the difference, to be fair. It was just the tissues were inflamed from training as such, not so much for, you know, I figure what it's like is a new alignment, and there's this new pressure's been put on it. It's definitely not re-injured. It didn't hurt at all in the snatches, clean jerks, felt perfect, but a little bit on the squats. So I had no plans for the front squat. So again, went front 20s. It was fine. I just did 4 sets of 3 in it. I figured like the week's pressure had just inflamed the tissues there rather than re-injured them, if you know what I mean. So I was like, boom, doesn't matter. Moved on to deadlifts and slow centric. Watching Anton Plesnoy that day, so I'd planned to keep my deadlifts for once a week on the Saturday session, so I'd be resting on the Sunday, so it wouldn't fatigue me a lot, but I'd go reasonably heavy on these clean deadlifts. Saw Anton doing 280 with a slow eccentric and a pause above the floor, so I was like, fuck it, I'll work up to something moderate. So worked up to 220 for a single, nice and slow on the way down. And I want to make sure that my back is organized and I'm maintaining a lot of integrity, you know. So looking back at the week, I feel it went well overall. I'm very, very happy to get a full week's work in. Just that's all I ask for, is just to be able to train hard for 6 days in a row, get a good week of weightlifting in. We'll proceed with caution. So full day rest today on Sunday. Let the tissues adapt and recover. Very, very important. And then I think looking back, quite happy with most of it. See how next week goes. I will keep maybe another week of threes in the snatch, but maybe not too much longer. I might actually reduce the weight a little bit on those and do more sets and reps with them rather than going for a heavier set, to get some work in from those. I will keep all the exercise variations so far this week because I feel like they're working quite well. What I might actually change though is I might change to deficit cleans. I've used it for some of my athletes very well, for athletes who weren't organized like me off the floor, and it made a big difference to their cleans. So I might add it in, see how it goes, and get it. I think could benefit me. Now is a great time for a lot of variation, and it certainly won't make things worse. So, and if it's good enough for Dimitri Berestov, it's good enough for this bucko. So lads, I hope you enjoyed this training vlog, a little bit different. Next week I will just, we'll see as weeks progress. If you like this style, then I will give the full week again. If you like the other ways, or you like a mismatch of both, just let me know in the comments. And it'll be interesting to see how this changes, say, in 6 weeks time, when we kind of flip the switch for a lot harder training. Not that this is not hard, but again, we need to be smart and see how this goes. I'm optimistic. As Fitz said, I paid my dues, so I'm looking forward to the weeks ahead. Thanks for watching, guys.